Good morning. I'm having some tea. It's very, very early. Like, not even 7 o'clock yet. 5 of. But I have a little free time now before everyone wakes up. Hopefully this is all working and the audio is good. And let's bring the mic over here. So you can sort of hear me. Look, Prusa Zombie. His head fell off. Which is the whole basis of this little quick video I'm going to do this morning. And to pull this up. I don't know how these guys do it. Oh, turn my own audio off. What's up, Printing Viking? Oh, it's not early for you, huh? It's like noon or something. Keep forgetting you're like halfway around the world. Is it even morning for you? It's like afternoon for you, isn't it? I'm getting this all set up. I don't know how these guys set all this up beforehand because you can't access any of it. I was actually going to start using the new YouTube Beta Studio. There's no way to live stream. Just turn it on live. You got to use OBS or StreamPix or whatever. There's no way to do it direct. Yeah, I was going to say it's afternoon there. Anyway, enough bitching. Prusa's head fell off. Now, it didn't really fall off because that's top layers, and it is pretty. The only mark on it is where the head started printing on top of it. So the file is bad. Now, when I put it in Idea Maker, and I used Idea Maker, it came up and said there was a file error, and I hit the fix a few times, and it wouldn't completely fix it. I'm like, sometimes it won't. Usually you print it, and it's fine after you tried it once or twice, and you're good to go. Well, now I know why it gave me a file error, because these are actually two separate files. And I think when they did the multicolor, because it's based on the multicolor Prusa, but I don't have multicolor. But they do have a single color file. I don't think they reattached it properly. So I might have to bring in a mesh mixer. But I'm thinking, he is a zombie. So if I like glue his head on all crooked and crap, it might be okay. I was actually thinking about gluing his head in his hands. Like that. But then he just tips over. So I think I'm going to glue his head on with some glue, which I have right here, which, seeing crap. I hope it's not dried up already. Oh, it's still pretty good. Seal that puppy right back up. Right quick like. I think I'm going to glue it on like all cockeyed. So he looks like a zombie with his head cut off. What do you think? So I got to do zombie, as you can see the zombie. Of course, I'm looking at my screen trying to do it, and it's a reverse of real world. The zombie sign. Zombie containment area that I got from the ketchup stream. And they gave me this. This is actually the Ripcord Red filament, which this mic is now covering right there. Right there. That's Ripcord's Red filament. It says zombie on it. They wrote zombie on it. So I guess it's zombie red. So I printed a zombie in red. Hey, Michael, what's up? I didn't see you pop in there. So what do you think? Should I just glue his head on all crooked and crap? Like that? I think I'm gonna. Just be done with it. He's a zombie. His head started to fall off. Somebody started to hack his head off. I'm going for it. All right, keyboard out of the way, because I've already spilled some goop on my keyboard and it melts my keys. I'm to find out the Mac keys are maybe with PLA or something similar. Of course, I need my glasses so I can see what the hell I'm doing, because I'm old and blind. Wow, those are nasty. I'm very upset his head fell off, though. I mean, I can, but whatever. It is what it is. I mean, that's like a perfect top layer. That's like top layers for sure. So it's definitely a separate file. Little gloop. You can gloop it. Gloop. Whoops. Put it in the camera. Gloop. I love this stuff. If you're working with PLA, it's awesome. The only thing I don't like is this stupid huge brush. This is just foolish. This is kind of, there's no control with this thing. And they are coming out with a new bottle. I don't know how well this is going to hold because there's not much going to be in contact, but it does melt it. So if I push it down and give them a little twisty, and there he is with his sideways head. Hey, Don. Haven't seen you in a while. What's up, man? How was life over in Germany? Yeah, I didn't even think about it. If I stream this early, all the Europeanese people will be like normal hours. So there he is. He's glooped on there with his head sideways. Now I got to put him. I'm going to make little shelves, like small shelves, where I print like the whole shelf. It'll only be like this big. And I'll put a couple of zombies, and I'll print some zombies and put them all around the zombie containment area. I was actually thinking about designing and printing like a cage, I'm not sure how I would do it. I think I would have to lay it flat and then print chain link, just real thin, like 3 or 4 layers tall, pop it off to build plate, and then, build a cage for the zombie containment, and then maybe design one that's like all busted and broken. So I'm actually thinking about taking the sign and like kinking it sideways too, instead of being all square, because then it's more like a zombie containment, area, because it's painted to look like an old crappy sign. So yeah, I know those financial problems. I'm having the same thing. That is weird. Did I put some kind of weird flavored tea in here? Oh well. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and I got 10 minutes to myself, so I was gonna mow the lawn or glue Prusa's head together. So there you go. Oops, red on red's not working. Zombie Prusa with his head falling off. It just sucks that that's it. I almost wish this was screwed up on the neck part, the lower jaw neck part, so it would be like guts pouring out and his head's all chopped up. I might just stick some filaments in there. Yeah, whatever. It was fun. So I gotta say, I do like that ripcord filament. It's good stuff. Anyway, that's the extent of that. I don't know how much time I got, because I think the old people I have to take care of are going to be up soon. They aren't already. I don't hear them yelling and screaming yet. So what are you guys up to? Anything fun and exciting? So if I go over to this beta studio, or even hit this, and hit go live, which is probably going to screw everything up. Manage live and schedule streams. Okay, it's showing I'm already live. Classic live streaming. Live dashboard. Won't even let me go there. Something's funky with this new. The new YouTube is just terrible. I mean, there's nothing there. You go into the new beta studio and there's nothing there. All you can do is look at stats and stuff. There's no setups. There's no live streaming. There's no... Working a bit. Transitioning my clients over to the new email server. Okay. New email server. It's been printing a bunch of letters for friends. Printing letters like paper letters or printing 3D printing letters. Grill bar. Oh, I see. Grill bar is the letters you're printing, I'm guessing. Cool. I just don't get this new YouTube beta thing. Of course, I can't operate it. Actually, well, no, because it won't let me sign in and sign out on this computer at the same time. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why these companies have something good that's popular and it works, and then they gotta go and screw it up trying to make it better. It's not better. Every time they go to make it better, they make it worse or they screw it up. I've been doing the classic too, but that's all going away as of August 1st. You got a month. August 1st, the supposedly all the Hangouts is going away, YouTube Classic is going away, all of that. And there's no, like, they used to at least have a camera, what they call camera live, where you just click on it like I do with the Hangouts, because I'm actually in a Hangout now. But you're not in a Hangout. You just click live and it accesses your camera, it accesses your mic, and it broadcasted it. That was great. What's up, Rover? Too bad it's so early and Red Light's not here. Red Light sent me a frickin' power supply. What did I do with it? Right here. I thought you just had one laying around scrap. This was brand new in a box. Brand new. Never been opened. I had to cut the tape. I didn't realize it was a brand new frickin'... Not that he's watching, because it's like 5 in the morning where he is, but thanks, Red Light, if you watch this. That's ridiculous. So now I got a power supply for the Llama Core again, which looks exactly the same as the power supply I just took off of it and put a fan on it and burnt out the fan, which I still think I'll repair. Because this one the fan burnt out on, and then I put this fan on it, and I was testing the fan, and this fan died just testing it. It just burnt out. It went up in smoke. And I hear they're good fans, so it's got to have been a bad one, or I did something. But of course I can't return it because I cut the cable. Oh well. I think I'll get another one. Not that I can afford it right now. But there was nothing wrong with this power supply. It was actually a pretty decent power supply. It worked well. It's clean. It's neat. Not even dirty inside. It's almost brand new inside. The only thing that was wrong with it was the fan. And I always, the minute these fans go bad, I always cut them out and put big monster ones on them that are way quieter. Because that's the worst part of all these printers is the power supply fan. But that's life. But I think I will eventually get a new fan for it. Matter of fact, I might hit up my brother for one because he probably has one I can steal at work, at his office. Because actually, I think I'm going to give his office the Max Micron for now to get it the hell out of here. It's in my way. I don't have the space. He's got one of the guys at work that running 2 printers now, and he's not keeping up. So I said, you know what? If he wants, he can play with the Max Micron, use it, repair it. It needs some new bearings. He'll have to repair it. He can keep it for a couple of months. Rover. You're more advertising than most advertisers. Would you please go to the link? Help me win this 3D printer FK3 Fastgate clone Prusa to win. Thank you and good luck. Yeah, but do you win it or do we win it? Doesn't matter. Join of whatever that is. Fisect. I can't even say that. Something French it looks like. Oh, isn't that the company that's getting like in big trouble with Prusa because they're exactly cloning it and using Prusa's ads and stuff? Not sure if that's them, so I don't want to say too much because it may be and it may not be. You still don't have a printer, do you? So, anyways, I gotta hook this up. I'm a little disappointed in this magnet from TH3D, but I think I'm gonna slap it because that's the only printer I have that doesn't have a magnetic bed on it. So I'm thinking about putting this on it, but I gotta really level that first. And I was getting ready to take the blue tape because that's the original blue tape that Glenn Funking 3D put on this when he first had it. I'm actually thinking I'm going to leave the blue tape on there and stick this right on the blue tape. And that way, if I don't like it, it's much easier to get off because this 3M stuff will hold forever. I mean, the sheet looks good. It just has no magnetism. It doesn't hold anything. I mean, I have high iron metal plates. Don't stick to them. These are not stainless steel or spring steel. These are steel. And they barely stick to it. It's got very little strength. Now, everyone was saying it could be because it's flexible. And it could be because it's got some grip. So I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it on that printer since that's the only one that doesn't have magnetism on it. But the bed on that is so flimsy and thin and crappy. As Glenn will tell you, quite wholeheartedly, and in many verbal words, it's so bad. I mean, I actually got it better by putting it on my knee and straightening it out. I literally went, oh. That had a big dip in it. And I got rid of 90% of it, but I got to truly level it out if I'm going to put that magnet on there, which I can do. It's just a pain. You want a printer? You pay for the shipping, and I can't. Kind of thinking of getting rid of the Max Micron, but it's my only direct drive, and it's the only one that does flexibles. Otherwise, I'd get rid of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I love the thing. It's the first real printer I ever had. I mean, my M3D was the first printer I ever had, but it needs work. It needs new bearings. And I've been trying to convert it all over to wheels with 2020 extrusion. I got everything but the X carriage done now. But it's just the X carriage bearings. And I've put new bearings in it. It's just loud. This thing is so quiet now. This thing was so loud when Glenn sent it to me. Glenn was talking about how loud it was. And I got rid of the rods and made this 2020. The actual bed's all 2020 on wheels. What's up? Kind of early for you, isn't it? Mr. Carl Naked. Naked Designs. I was reading your post this morning about bitching and screaming and giving people a hard time about trying to help you learn how to use Fusion 360. You got to let me teach you, because I'm a terrible teacher, but I'm really pretty good at Fusion. And I'm actually pretty good at showing people how to use Fusion, if that makes sense. We should do a live stream together, hangout thing, because I could show you some stuff that will make Fusion just click with you really fast. You were trying to use step files and all that, and I just wouldn't. I would take your step files in Fusion 360 and not use the step file, but use it for a reference and remake everything from scratch. Screw the step file, get rid of it, make a new Fusion file from scratch. Just use the step file as a reference, and it'll be faster. It'll actually end up being faster. Not only that, if you have to edit anything, once you've done that, once you've made it a Fusion file, it's so much easier to edit it. And where you're trying to do it, there's just so many positives of using Fusion once you get it. I understand not getting it because it took me a little while not to get it. But once you get it, the advantages of using Fusion are so great. Because even where you're working with printed solid, if they wanted to edit something, you can send them the Fusion file right out of Fusion. You can send them a link to it. And then they can go, oh, we want to edit this, this, and this. And instead of making you do it, they can go click, 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 and do it themselves. Yeah, it's once you get your head wrapped around, if you took drafting in high school, see, that's why it clicks with me. I took a lot of drafting in high school and technical design and drawing. Fusion is just exactly like doing it on paper. It's even better than the old CAD programs we used to have back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, that's what I went to school for too, which is, well, graphic design, but I was doing both at the same time. I was taking courses in both, and engineering design, mechanical design, and graphic design. Anyway, Fusion just makes sense to me because you're drafting, and then you draft the flat, and then you make it 3D. You extrude or add or pull or push, and I still screw it up on occasion. Especially, I'm terrible at locking everything down and putting constraints on everything. So I'll go and build this big elaborate whatever, and then have to change one thing, and I'll go click, and the whole thing will just blow apart. But with Fusion, that's the good thing about Fusion. You can go back in the timeline and find out what's blowing apart and just either delete a section or redo it or click this. Well, that's why I think if we did it on a live stream together where I have it, we both can. That's the other thing about Fusion. We can have the same file open at the same time with Fusion. You can share a file with each other through the program. So I can be working on it while you're working on it, and you can say, oh, I need to do this. And I can go, okay, well, this is how you do it, and literally show you how to do it, and then delete it and make you do it yourself, if that makes sense. No, yeah, they changed the interface this last time. The last two updates, they actually introduced the new interface back in September or October last year, but they didn't make it official. You could access it, and I constantly would go back and forth between them, and I actually kind of like the old interface better. The thing is, they keep adding more and more and more. You know, they added the sheet metal and all of those, and it made the whole menu change. So now they have a more basic, the actual menu is more basic. They used to actually have more detail in the upper menu. I don't know. Fusion just makes sense to me. I can pretty much do anything I want in moments. I just noticed I didn't put the U in Prusa on the title of this. I just saw that. I just looked up and saw it. That was dumb of me. That's what happens when I'm in a rush. Yeah, AutoCAD is just, I never got AutoCAD. It was just such a pain in the butt. I hated AutoCAD. I still got floppy disks for AutoCAD out in the garage. I was out in the garage the other day. I got like AutoCAD 1, 2, and 3, and I think one of them is like 35 little 3.5-inch floppy disks. It's like the stack of floppies just for that one program. Yeah, well, I brought some. I see. I do that too. I pinned a few up top too. I don't pin a lot up. I pin like the center circle. I pin up the center square. I pin up and the sketch menus. Um, some of the other things that I use a lot, I pin to the top. Yeah, I haven't touched AutoCAD in probably 10 years. I never liked AutoCAD. I never got anywhere with it. It took me. I could draw on paper faster than I could in AutoCAD. I can operate Fusion faster than I can draw on paper. No, I do not have a 3.5-inch floppy drive. I have the disk for it. I do not. Actually, I do. I shouldn't say that. I do because I still have an old Mac. Um, I had my old Mac. What the hell was the name of that thing? It was a G4. It still runs. It runs beautifully. It's so outdated that you can't do anything with it. Other than software being outdated, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's just slow and small. And but um, the big blue one, just before they came out with the aluminum case, it was the same shape, but it was the plastic and blue, and it was their fancy audio one. Because years and years and years ago, when they first started doing that and all that crap, I was helping a friend of mine. He was building a recording studio. He was big into recording, and he built a recording studio. He was into country music and knew a whole bunch of country people. We built a full-on recording studio in his basement, and he bought a bunch of Macs because that was that back then. There was nothing else back in those days to do audio recording and get quality and be able to go from analog to digital and back and forth. The only way you could do it was through a Mac. It was the only one that had the hardware to attach. I think it was. Yeah, I think we were using OS 9 at the time. I think 10 was just coming out. I could run 10 on that. OS 10 on the. What was the name of that thing? Audio something. It was the blue one because it was the first one to have It was the very first one ever to have a DVD writer on it. It's got the very first DVD writer on it, and the writer cost me $1,200. I remember that very vividly because everyone went like, "Holy crap! You paid more for the writer than you did for the whole computer." I'm like, "Yeah, I know," but he paid for some of it because I helped him build his recording studio, and that's what he bought. He bought all like 5 or 6 of them, and then he got me one at half price. And actually, it was less than half price. I think I paid like $3,000 for the whole thing. It was like $6,000 for the setup. It was maxed out. It was a quad core or dual core G4, which was big then, with the CD writer or DVD writer. It was the first DVD writer in a Mac. What else? Oh, it had everything. At the time, everything. Now it's just like a lame. The freaking pies are faster than it. Corel Draw. I used Corel Draw. I actually liked Corel Draw. I wish Corel Draw had stayed Mac because I would have never touched Adobe again. I would not have touched Adobe. I didn't know your name was Thomas too. That's actually my name's not Thomas either. We won't go into that. Thomas is not my actual name. Well, it is. It's my middle name. Anyway. I'll call you Viking because it's just easier. I'm going to have to fix the title of this because it says PRSA. Prusa Zombie Head. Now, there wasn't much there attached, and that thing is on there now. It is on there. And there's not even that much. I love Gloop. Gloop for PLA is the bomb. Zombie Head. Yes, I changed my name for your protection. I broke too many noses having fun of my name. My real name's Darren. And I grew up in the Bewitched days. And all the kids used to call me when I was like 5 and 6. They used to call me Deerwood out in like recess and stuff. And I got pissed off one day and broke a kid's nose. Punched him right in the nose and broke his nose. And I got suspended for 3 days. And when I came back to school, I was 8 or 9 years old. I said, my name's Thomas. I'm using my middle name. And I pretty much ignored teachers and anybody that called me Darren. Because I was tired of being called Darewood. Now I wouldn't give a crap, but when you're a little kid, that stuff matters. And it stuck. So I've used my new middle name ever since. Yeah, Sign Lab. I used to use that years ago. And actually, I don't think they called it Sign Lab then. I think they got bought out. But yeah, I bailed on Adobe when they became hostageware. It's too overpriced for what it is. You guys should all try it. The Affinity Serifs, Affinity Photo, and Affinity Designer. They pretty much do. There's some limits, but they pretty much do everything that the Adobe stuff can do. And they're $35. It's $35 each for a lifetime. I have not given them another dollar. Actually, I have, because I bought their book for another $35 because they got a really nice hardcover book covering their apps. I mean, it's a gorgeous book and it helps. And I'm like, for $35 for the book. I spent $70 on the two of them. God, when Adobe first went, I can't use GIMP. GIMP just doesn't work for me. Every time I use GIMP on the Macs, it works. It screws up everything else on the computer for some reason. I don't know why. But my whole computer, the minute I install the whatever you call it, X10 or whatever it is you need to, X11, that you need to get GIMP running on the Mac, and so it runs all the stuff, my whole computer just starts dogging. I would give it a shot, because if you use, for the $35, it's worth just buying it, because it just works. There's a few little oddities, like I usually use my mouse here, which you can't see, but I don't know. Can you see it now? I have this trackball, which is awesome. I highly recommend this thing too. Over a mouse, I hate mice going but anyways, back on subject. I use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out on like every program in the world, and the scroll wheel on the Affinity apps make it scroll up and down, which is obnoxious. Every art-based 3D printing, everything, the scroll wheel usually zooms you in or out. So I'm always trying to hit the scroll wheel to zoom, and then it's like scrolls down. I'm like, oh crap, and then you gotta manually hit the zoom. Yeah, I used to use Photoshop, and I liked Photoshop back in the days when you could get it for $100, and then they'd update a couple times, and I'd update like every third or fourth update, and it would be another $75 or $100. Then it was worth having Photoshop. This $150 for the suite, and you only get it for a year, and it's so we can update it. Bull crap! That's just so you can collect more money. You can make more money by having it on a freaking mortgageware. It's hostageware. You don't give us money, you don't get to use our app anymore. And I get, time and effort and money and all of that, but Photoshop is not Adobe is not lacking in cash. And the other thing people don't realize is all the best parts of both Photoshop and especially Illustrator came from freehand. Macromedia was way above Adobe back in the day. I used Macromedia more than I used Photoshop. I used Xres. Any of you guys even know what Xres was? Xres was awesome, especially on wicked slow computers. I don't know if you ever heard of Xres, but back when computers were slow and even just doing basic image editing, 2D, not only 3D, but 2D, any kind of editing, any kind of shading or anything took forever. It was heavy processor or GPU processor heavy. Well, Xreds designed this thing where you worked in a really low resolution image. You could zoom in and the resolution would zoom in, but you worked in a really low res image, did all your work, and when you were done, you hit render and it would go back. And that's the only downside of it is you'd hit render and it would go back and render all of your stuff in the timeline. It had a timeline very similar to Fusion does. And it would go back through the timeline and do all the effects that you did in high res. And back then that was actually faster because you could do that in the background where your actual work time, you're not clicking a button and waiting for the little freaking thing to spin and clicking a button and waiting for the little thing to spin and clicking a button and, the beach ball would spin, click a button and, oh, I didn't like that. You got to go back and the beach ball would spin, where you could do everything in real time. It would apply all the effects on screen, just at screen resolution. But when you were all done, hit render, boom. It would take like 5-10 minutes sometimes more with a high resolution image, but you could walk away, go get coffee, start something else that would work in the background on the computer, and then poof, up would come the image all in high res. That's about when I bailed on Photoshop, was 3.5. Isn't that when? No, it was CS3 was when they went to Hostware. When they went from CS3 to CS4, isn't it? They were at like version 10 or 12 when they went to the CS, whatever that was supposed to mean. I don't know. I actually started with Macromedia and Adobe at the same time, and I used the Macromedia versions, Xres and not Illustrator, because 90% of the good features from Illustrator came from the Macromedia version, and I can't remember what it was called. I'm gonna have to look it up. Now I gotta look it up. Macromedia apps. What was the name of the Macromedia one? Oh, Acrobat was Macromedia's originally too. All the Macromedia versions are Cold Fusion was Macromedia, Connect, Contribute, Director, Dreamweaver, Fireworks, and Flash were all part of Macromedia originally. And Adobe bought Macromedia and pulled them, made them theirs. Sound Edit, Xres was awesome. Oh, right. Final Cut was Macromedia's too. Apple's Final Cut Pro was originally Macromedia's. They bought that. I think they bought that from Adobe because Adobe had their video one. Dreamweaver. What the hell was the... Oh, Freehand. Macromedia Freehand. That was their equivalent to... Freehand was the equivalent to Illustrator. It was way better back then. Pretty much within the first year after Adobe acquired Macromedia, Illustrator took over all the better features of Freehand that I ever used anyways. Freehand was awesome. I used to use the page layout program by Macromedia before Adobe bought it too. What the hell was the name of that? Now I can't remember the name of any of them. I think it was PageMaker. I forgot Final Cut was actually Macromedia's. Flash was Macromedia's. Director is a spin-off of Final Cut, and then they sold Final Cut to Apple. Yeah, I think I went up to CS3. I think CS3 was when they finally went to, because the CSs were all bundles, and I could get, it actually was cheaper then. You could get Illustrator, Flash, Photoshop, all of them together for like $400, which actually ended up being cheaper than buying them all separate. Saved you $50 or something. Anyway, that was fun. Photoshop 7, how do you even get it to run? Photoshop 7 won't even install on a current Mac. I know it will on some PCs, but that's still an 8-bit program or 16-bit. Everything on Mac has to be 64-bit now, or it won't run. No more 16 or 32s or 8s. None of it. It won't even let you install it. I just found that out. You guys will get a kick out of this. I'll even show you. If I haven't deleted it already. Did I delete it? Oh, I did. I deleted it already. Crap. Oh well. America Online Instant Messenger got re-released last year at like October. The company bought out America Online's Instant Messenger application, just the Instant Messenger part of it, and reset it up on their servers. And you just download the old AIM software. You have to recode the server to go to their server instead of the old AOL server. And off you go. And I guess AIM is up and running again, which is kind of funny. I liked AIM. It worked well. We used to use it a lot. People didn't realize how powerful AIM actually was. AIM was very much like Hangouts is now. The only thing you couldn't do is direct up to YouTube with it. But we used to do you could have 6 or 7 people. We used to do the mountain biking things. That's how we'd have meetings. It's through AIM. AIM video chat. Yeah, AIM worked. It just worked. The only reason AIM went away is because AOL went away. If AOL was still around, if AOL had been smart and reset themselves properly, they'd still be here today. They'd probably be as big as like Comcast, or they'd become a media giant and gotten into more than just the internet. They could have taken off. It was just mismanaged. Yep. Yeah, I used to use it for gaming online too. AIM was great. It still is. I mean, if you look at it, it's still, compared to most of these video chat software, it's equal to anything current. I mean, it's what it went away in like 99, 2000. I mean, it's been gone almost. Had to have been later than that. It's been gone like 10 years, 15 years. Anyway, it's back. As long as you can run 32-bit or under applications, you can run it. Problem is none of the new Mac OSs will run 32-bit anything. It's 64-bit or go away. Even on this little Mac Mini, it wants 64-bit or go away. We don't want to see it. You know, I should try firing up my old Mac Mini, just sitting right there, because I still have Classic on that, so it'll run that'll run anything all the way down to OS 7 under the classic plugin. Yeah, if I had a problem with eBay and cashing my checks, I didn't have. It's the only place I used to hate PayPal, but eBay kind of straightened me out on PayPal because I mean they used to be the same company, but now they're really not. And they still are, but they're not. They're still owned by the same people, even though they're separate companies. Um, but yeah, PayPal was really good about, and still is. That's the only reason I use PayPal. I think it's kind of a highway robbery at times, but PayPal is great for overseas purchases because no matter what, if somebody screws you, you will get your money back. It may take a couple, 3 months, but you will get your money back. I've had like 4 or 5 disputes over the last couple of years. Buying from GearBest or Banggood. And that's why I don't have a problem with Banggood or GearBest because as long as I use PayPal, that's why I cannot use the other one there. What's that other Chinese marketing kind of eBay / Amazon, um, Alibaba, and what's the other one? Begins with an A. Now I can't even think of the name of it. Anyway, I can't even use them because PayPal, they don't accept PayPal, and my credit cards all shut them off. I can't do Wish. My credit card will not let me charge on Wish. It will refuse to charge. You'll get a letter saying we've had too many fraudulent purchases through them. We have blocked them. AliExpress. There you go. Can't use AliExpress. My credit card bank has gotten so many fraudulent purchases through AliExpress. They will not let you charge on it. So anyway, it's like 7:45, and I gotta go make breakfast for my parents, the elderlies. I can hear them moving around downstairs now. So I got to go. Time to head out. Yeah, I've had fraudulent purchases. I bought some handlebars. I used to use AliExpress a lot for mountain biking. I used to be the president of my chapter of New England Mountain Biking Association and blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you how many things were knockoff, and I don't even mean knockoff, like quality knockoff. I mean, these things were like cheap. We got some real high end, like multi-$100 handlebars, carbon fiber handlebars. And they're Eastman, if you know who Easton is. Real high end stuff, or can be high end stuff. Anyway, I got the Easton EA90 carbon fiber, real strong, lightweight handlebars. And I was given a pair for my birthday. And I had already ordered them. So when I got them, I was like, oh crap, because of course it took, like 2 months to get here. I got them, and I was like, oh well. And a friend of mine broke his aluminum ones. I'm like, well, here, try these. I got a free set. Here, take them. He got out there in 2 trips in the mountains and freaking cracked them. Easton warranties them for life, so we called Easton, especially where I purchased them. And Easton was like, "Those aren't ours. Look at the stickers. They're all placed wrong. They're this, that, and the other thing." I'm like, "Oh crap!" And they're like, "Where'd you get them?" I'm like, "Oh, we got them from AliExpress." And they were like, immediately, they were like, Easton was great about it. They were like, "We want those handlebars. We will pay the shipping. We will send you a new pair. We want those handlebars because no one's supposed to be, I guess they signed a contract with the manufacturer that no one's allowed to copy them, even though China doesn't have copyright like we do. The manufacturer is supposed to hold the copyright patents on them in China or some crap. So Easton was pissed, sent him a new set of handlebars, paid to have those broken ones shipped back to them. The whole 9 yards. So he got a new set. But can you imagine mountain biking? I don't know if you guys ever mountain bike, but here in New England, it's not like major downhill high speed. It's all up and over rocks and rough, and you're moving slow. So if you do fall, you don't get hurt quite as bad, but you can still break an arm. But he got beat up pretty bad. Freaking handlebar snapped. And that's just one of many. I've gotten derailleurs for the mountain bike that were just like, you'd think they were made of freaking paper, not even aluminum. They were just garbage with brand names on them, stamped on them. and there's no way to know. There's just so much knockoff garbage on AliExpress. It's unreal. Anyway, I gotta click out because yeah, they're running around downstairs. I can hear noise, and they're gonna want breakfast, and that's my life now. Sucks, but that's what it is. All right, thanks for stopping by. Have a good morning, afternoon for all you European people. Night if you're in Asia. I mean Asia, yeah. Well, Asia or Australia. Actually, yeah, it's nighttime there, isn't it? Anyways, I'm off. Later, guys. Thanks for stopping by.